Welcome to today's convening of the Creative Consultants. I'm Matt, Chief Content Consultant.
And I'm Trudy, Chief Communications Consultant.
Now, as is custom, as we do every single episode. We always play with our glasses, but we like to open with an inspirational quote.
It's essential.
And today I'd like to share with you a quote from one of my heroes, Mel Brooks.
I can't wait.
All right. Hope for the best, expect the worst. Life is a play, we're unrehearsed.
Oh,
it's pretty good,
wow,
right?
that's actually really good.
Yeah, no,
there was not even a sniff of cheese in that one.
No. It was just, from the heart. Yeah, isn't it good?
It is good.
I actually, before we get into today's point of conversation.
Let's diverge,
I love Mel Brooks purely because he chose to laugh in the face of everything. And for those who don't know, he's a Jewish man and wrote things like The Producers and whatever, like really embraced his race, history, personality, and just went, everything is up for grabs here. Let's laugh about it. And I think like his embracing play and humor and just like the joy of exploration in these ideas.
Yes.
Like I just adore his output. I think he's so good.
Do you know, this is not the episode for it, but I've been diving into the role of play in things like trauma, adversity, like the role of war, like all the dark stuff where the space of play hides.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he was a champion.
Oh, he's the best. And like, I think you I don't know if you've seen The Producers, but like there's the musical in there. There's like Springtime for Hitler. And like horrendously on the nose, but coming from a place of a guy that's like has all this lived experience and understanding of like the context around it.
Yeah.
That like, anyway, so good. Not the point of the episode.
But very interesting point. It made me think, who's my hero? In that sense. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll remember.
I have too much hair to think properly at the moment.
Well, on the topic of hair, we'd like to know, what's your routine? how do you shampoo?
Do you know, it's been complex, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted to wear fake hair.
It's not fake.
It's not. No. Like everything in this world, everything is real and authentic and vulnerable.
And measurable.
I feel like I'm not very good at being womanly sometimes. And I'm very envious of women who can just like pop fake hair in and make it look amazing. So I thought I would try it today.
You're pulling it off.
Thank you.
Good job. Now, speaking of pulling things off, how does an organisation pull off a solid ROI on playfulness?
Because that's our topic. We haven't even introduced our topic yet.
No, I know.
Did you just do it?
ROI on playfulness.
ROI on playfulness.
Yeah.
Hence I'm going to explain it because I need people to know it's more than just fake hair that I'm wearing. It's we're playful, we're relaxed.
This is the uniform in the creative consultant's office. Yeah.
Casual Friday.
Yeah, that's it.
ROI on, what are we talking about?
Playfulness.
ROI on playfulness. Got it. This is really fascinating because play is sneaky. Mm-hmm. And so when people...
Sorry, I've got hair in my eye as well now that I've played. It's too much hair stuff going on.
Would you like some of mine?
I'm okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You look gorgeous too. Your hair is amazing.
Thank you. This is all natural.
Oh, good.
I pull it off.
You really do.
Please, continue.
ROI on playfulness. It's sneaky because I think we've spoken about this before in all our extensive episodes previously, that it is a holistic benefits of return of investment. I've been reading some really cool statistics. Can I pull out a statistic?
I'd love nothing
Every
more.
meeting needs a statistic.
Yeah.
Right. Let me just make sure I get it right here. Interestingly, they've done a study. It was Adobe that did a study. Do you like to quote it? We'll put a link. Everybody puts a link.
You don't even know where the links go.
I don't know where the links go, but I know there's a link.
There's a link.
And that's all that matters.
All right.
You can find the link and it says that Adobe did a study. Right. And companies championing creativity enjoyed a 1.5 higher market share than those that don't. Plus, playful organisations are 20% more productive.
That's pretty powerful.
Boom, that's the episode.
Yeah, done.
Lunch? Yep.
Measured it. Well, I think, okay, so look, statistics are great, 1.5 times more productivity. And then was it 20%?
No, it's 20% more productivity, 1.5 higher market share.
Right. I mean, so that's sizable.
Dollar.
What would you point that towards? Like, you're obviously involved in implementing play and creativity in these organizations. Like, what do you see contributes to that, sizable shift in those statistics?
Because I think we've now discovered how powerful play is and how to use it. So I find it really fascinating. We've only been researching adult play for the last 50 years. And in that time, I think really organisationally, it has developed as well. We have the Industrial Revolution to thank for the fact that it limited play within our adult lives and particularly our working worlds. So I feel like as we are discovering how powerful it is and how effective it is and how to use it within, I'm a big believer in not saying play and, saying play in. So it's not we do our work, and then we play ping pong at lunchtime. It's how do we incorporate what we do and make that a playful process.
I love that.
Good.
I think like, glad you agree that I agree with you. But I think like, yeah, just that differentiation between the and the in, I think is crucial, because I think if you embed that as like a culture or a way of thinking or experimenting or whatever you want to do, it just becomes part of the process rather than like, oh, we've got to now think about creativity. It's like, it's a clunky comparison, but like, all of the diversity and inclusion sort of things, if it's thought about as an afterthought of like, oh, we've got to tick these boxes rather than like a holistic, it's just the way the organization thinks about people and the makeup of that. It changes the DNA and the ability of that organization to do something with that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's such a cool differentiation.
Yeah, huge. And it really makes, and I think as organisations are waking up to the power of that, and that it doesn't have to be these huge, that's the other thing, it doesn't have to be these huge big offsites that happen. It can happen within your daily work process, within a meeting. There's a company in the US and they have designed a ball pit. And the only way they use their ball pit is when they have really serious meetings that they think could get really clunky or really difficult or really there's a lot of tension. They just go and sit in the ball pit and they have the meetings in the ball pit. That's it.
Cool.
Right? And it's as small as that, but what they do is they really they notice that it makes a huge difference when it comes to conflict, when it comes to connection, reminding themselves that, puts things in perspective, just really grounds them in that conversation.
Yeah.
And it's just a pit of balls.
Yeah. What a fun idea.
What a great idea.
Why is this podcast studio not a ball pit?
Season 2.
Hang on.
But that's the sort of thing that I think people are discovering.
Yeah.
And it's a tricky thing because we're in such a habit. We're humans. We're beautiful creatures of habit. We love a habit, makes us feel nice and safe. But as we challenge our habits in organisations and workplaces, I've just noticed I've got lipstick everywhere. What I think is finding is as we challenge those habits, we're learning as organisations how to be more playful and how to embed those in the work that we're doing. And that's, you would find that too, right?
Yeah.
In video production, people are learning how to use that creativity in the content that they're producing and how to, as we evolve, I think there's been a shift.
Yeah. And it's, it's a muscle like anything, right? You don't go to the gym, do it once and then be like, all right, I'm fit now. Like it's a behavior and routine and system of just like constantly iterating, working on it. And then it just becomes part of your routine and your nature. Yeah. And I know that, we here as a company like to, one of our mottos is challenge the brief. And it's not to be like, we know best, but more like, well, let's explore the options in front of us here because we don't know what we don't know. And if there's an idea that's going to better serve the outcome we need to deliver on, well, wouldn't it be remiss of us to not explore those options instead of just going, well, this is the idea and then away we go. And so I think like at a fundamental level, like embracing creativity, like that ROI part of it is so hard to measure. There is obviously productivity benefits and there's, market share benefits and all those sorts of things. But like, as far as that just immediate, like, we often say put X amount of creativity and what do you get out the other end? It's kind of impossible to know, but it changes the way of thinking and the process at which people go through problem solving or, solution offering, that like the benefits of those problem solving and solution offering conversations are better than what they were previously. Yeah. And it's so hard to measure.
And I dare say, I think that's why people like you and I, if I can,
Please.
Are really beneficial, because to challenge the brief takes some courage. To do something playfully for the first time takes courage and a little bit of bravery.
Yeah.
And when you're in an organisation, when you're in the ecosystem of the of the organisation and the culture, it can sometimes be hard to challenge when you're inside. Whereas bringing in somebody like yourself or me who are outside who are creative consultants, it's the perfect way of asking those questions.
Yeah.
Challenging their habits, making them look at things through fresh eyes.
Yeah.
And I think that's really exciting. There's nothing more beautiful than working with a company or a team or whomever and having that moment where they go, oh yeah.
It's kind of like a permission thing in a lot of ways too, right? It's like nobody's sitting there asking for permission if they can be a bit more adventurous or just explore some other alternatives. It's like people get their roles and their jobs and they've just got deadlines and whatever. And it's like, well, let's just do what we need to do to get it done. Soon as you have somebody, whether it's a leader or a senior person in an organization, give the quote unquote permission to be playful and creative, all of a sudden it just opens up all these alternatives and doorways. And I think that we can, as you said, we're creatures of habit. We fall into routine and the traps of that so often just being able to remind yourself, hey, let's be playful here. Let's do something a little bit differently. Let's wear fun outfits. Like, what does that do? How does that inspire somebody? It's just that idea of asking for permission. Once you remove that and there's an expectation there that you will challenge the brief, be creative, kind of come at it with a different way of thinking, just it frees everybody up to bring their best version of whatever it is that they need to bring.
Yes, and unexpected, that element of surprise.
Yeah.
The 3 questions that I say to people, ask why not, and what if?
Oh, that's good.
That's it.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? Or why not do this? Or what if we... Just 3 simple questions to everything. Like I love sort of saying, there's so many things that we do in our life that we just do. Why? Why is a blazer an office outfit? Like why isn't a suit? And why is anything, there's so many things that we just do it. Well, we go to bed at this time. Why? We sleep in a bed. What? Why? Where did a bed come from?
I have a 2-year-old that's gone through sleep regression, so I don't sleep in a bed. I sleep.
You don't sleep.
Sleep on the floor. I sleep on a couch. I don't sleep. Yeah.
Oh.
It's one thing we often say is like it's the idea of exploring the neighborhood, and I don't want to take credit for it. It's came from Creativity Inc. It's a book by Ed Catmull, who used to run Pixar. And so obviously as an organization, hugely creative, like some of the greatest creative minds out there creating stories. And this idea of exploring the neighborhood was the express permission to be like, poke around and see what else is out there.
Yes.
And it's like, you go, cool, I like this neighborhood. I like this house on this street. But what's the neighborhood like? What's the park like? What's the other houses like? Are the neighbors crazy? Like what's going on here? And all of a sudden, like being able to poke around and explore, you might go, you know what, there's a better neighborhood or a better suburb we want to move to, or a better house or whatever it is. But like without the idea of embracing that, you just go, well, this is your house. And you go, okay, cool. And then you just exist there, like such a limiting idea. And I think, we're talking quite broadly in terms of organizational thinking and approaches and stuff. But it even then comes down to like communications, which what we're a part of, and making content to express, a message or a theme or whatever it is that like, if you just go, well, this is the theme and that's what it is, and it's a really narrow way of thinking about it, it limits the ways of expressing that, the ways of bringing people into that idea and really capturing their imagination. That I think as soon as you go, well, let's just poke around, challenge the brief and see what else is out there, what comes back might completely surprise but also delight you. And I think, that's the thing that the intangible part of this. That's like, well, what's the ROI on this? You can't put a number on it exactly, but like, if you don't do this, you don't know what you're missing out on, which I think's, the most powerful thing about this.
And when other people are catching on and other people are doing it, you're silly not to. Talking about the neighborhood thing, I'm going to share one little thing that I do that I really, really love, and it's so simple and it happens in your neighborhood. I love to walk behind someone and we all walk
that's
differently.
You. That's me.
If you see the long locks. So I like to walk behind someone and we all walk differently. I would like to watch how someone walks and then try and walk like them. And it is the smallest thing, but it gives you such an insight into the being of someone else.
Yeah.
Tiny. Try it. It will surprise you.
What, just for those, most likely listening to this in a car or driving or whatever, like what do you get from it? What's the thing that you take away from that?
It gives you, we spend so much time, like I'm a real BuzzFeed for humanity, if you hadn't picked it up. And so it gives you, we all talk about walking in each other's shoes and empathy and understanding the other person, but even physically, I'm very much about embodied learning, and I do feel like physically we communicate so intrinsically. We know the statistics say between 70 to 90%, depending on who you follow, non-verbal. So we have these like communication things that sit on us. And when you just simply walk like somebody else, it gives you this incredible insight into what it must be like experiencing the world through their physicality. And once again, it's only little, but we talk about ROI. It is that thing about exploring and questioning and looking around and seeing possibility.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away or put my impressions on other people, so I invite everyone to try it for themselves and just see what that experience is for them. But that is one of those things, is creating I very much say, I follow a woman called Viola Spolin. She's sort of a base of the work that I do. And she sort of invented improvisation. She's called the grandmother of improvisation. And she really much believed in the sense of play, of creating the rules of the game, create the boundaries. Just like children, we find these boundaries and then we are safe to discover what's in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think we've lost that in our work because of the pressure and because of the routines and the processes and all of the necessary things that we need. I'm not saying ditch your accountant, let's go for it. Although, but they're necessary processes, but it doesn't give us the freedom.
Yeah.
And we're missing a trick there.
So I think that's a perfect way to kind of bring it to a close.
Oh,
what's the takeaway here, right? Like we've sort of gone ROI, we've gone walk in people's shoes and follow them down the street. Like what are we trying to end on here? What's something that somebody can take away from this and go, all right, this is what I'm implementing?
Yeah, I think the key takeaway is to really experience playfulness and creativity and to understand how to embed it in your current work process and workflows. You really need to challenge the status quo, understand how to use it in your processes, and your ROI on it is quite phenomenal. 20% more productive, more cash. Who doesn't want that?
And I think too, like it's the opportunity cost if you don't embrace it, because you do something one way, you don't have any idea what else is out there, what other opportunities, whether it's 20%, maybe 50%, like who knows, right? So I think closing yourself off to creativity and to playfulness is, at your own peril.
At your own peril. Plus two, it is one of the most primal ways that we connect to each other as humans and have enjoyment. Who doesn't want that in their work?
Not me.
I'm
all doom and gloom.
Me too.
Bar humbug.
I would never wear fake hair.
No, me either. That's actually, that definitely wouldn't be. It's a big part of my image.
Perhaps in the next few episodes we'll have you in this.
We might swap. Stay tuned.
Oh. Ooh.
How do we end this?
I don't know.
Done.